Hey, IDS-410, welcome to Module 3. It is Sunday, January 18th, and I'm live. You're watching this whenever, hopefully you're watching it. I will say, I think I had 14 or 16 views on the Module 1 video, which is nice, but there's 28 students and 29 students. So some of y'all are missing out. Those that aren't, well done. If you can't give 20 minutes or less to a lecture every week, that's not, you're ripping yourself off from the university experience. Okay, I try not to drone on, but I always feel better about this kind of communication over this kind of communication. I prefer to be a lecturer talker than a writer, even though I'm a writer. So whatever. All right, so you guys have been great. Just let me tell you, I'm really, seriously, this is probably one of the best starts I've ever had, if not the best, in terms of students understanding right away the nature of what we're trying to do. I guess what I'm trying to do, as I've said before, I don't control the curriculum, but I can influence how it's taught. And I have always felt that the local version of social problems and change is the most important, because the big picture stuff is, I'm going to tell you, it's too easy. Okay. For example, climate change is too easy to solve when you're looking at global change. You're just going to compile some data, some of the experts say, and then here you go. That's how to solve it. No, come on, let's be real. It's much harder to solve a local issue, whether that's sustainability based, civic responsibility based. Okay, those are the things, justice based, that we're seeing. I think you're seeing as you take it down, that it's an important thought exercise that challenges you to understand the dynamics, the real dynamics. Okay, I often joke about a previous class where a student really took me up on it. Fabulous, I applaud her. To put together that community center meeting over some topic or everything. I mean, she actually had like, I'm gonna need how many solo cups, I'm gonna need donuts donated by the bakery, I'm gonna need coffee. I mean, that was outstanding, because that truly means you're understanding that if you're gonna change, you have to really get into the logistics down to the detail. You're not just sending out flowery, generalized proclamations, okay? Because then we'll go back to that sign that I post saying somebody needs to do something about that. All right, this class, we're trying to do something about that. Having said that, the Module 2 papers seem to be good. I haven't scored your proposals yet. Please look at the feedback, even if it's 100%, because I have something to say. Please set up a call with me. I've had probably 3 or 4 already, and I think we've got the students in a really, happy place where, yeah, this sounds good. I'm gonna do this, because this I can do, and this I want to do, as opposed to, what do I do, right? Okay, so take a look at that. Let's see what I have in my notes here. Be sure to understand you're in group discussions starting this time. So Module 3, 5, and 6, I want to say, are group discussions. I put you all in small groups. You should have seen that email. You're in a group. Do not neglect your group partners. It's not group work as much as it's a group discussion board, okay? But if people don't participate in a timely fashion, it's a loss for everybody. Remember SNHU policy, which I always include if I have to not score it or score it, is that no late discussion board posts are accepted, because it is a participatory peer-related work. So main post by Thursday night, response post by Sunday night, okay? The paper now, this is 75 points, okay? So I think the instructions will tell you, what to submit, 2 to 3 pages, let's see, somewhere in here, I don't know, what to submit. Complete the Module 3 short paper template, submit it for grading. Use at least one source from the Shapiro Library. I'm holding you to that, one source, the Shapiro Library. What you do is you search under peer-reviewed filter, and under full text online filter. Now you'll come up with a plethora of papers and research done in your area that you're looking at. So include one of those. And now looking at the rubric, notice the criteria. It says aspects, importance, impact, focus, opportunity for social change, and social changes. Those are the important content criteria. I would subhead with those 6 in your discussion board, your paper. So I can see where you're thinking the way I'm thinking. It keeps your paper organized, keeps your work organized, keeps you efficient. Use those 6. Then the 7th is resource, which I just told you about, shared line. And that last one is clear communication, which you're gonna do, right? So that means, organize it, because part of communication is doing it in an organized way to a specific audience, all right? So that's for the paper. Remember, it's 75 points. That's almost a grade level. 100 points is a grade level. So let's take that seriously. And so you don't have to submit some long paper. It's usually, 2 to 3 pages, but that's not including the reference list, which you'll have 1 at least, right? Okay. Let me know if you have any questions on that. I don't mean to be vague or anything. I don't want anybody to be afraid. Is this enough? Is this enough? If it's 2 pages, full pages, it's enough. Not a cover page included, not a big 5-line header, not big line gaps from everything, but just a good paper. Okay, you know what I'm talking about, right? Please, again, refer back to that paper that I attached, the final paper, so you know what you're looking at. Also, by the way, I think one of my emails, it drove me crazy, my group email, I used the wrong your. Oh my God, I used the wrong your. I think I was supposed to use the Y-O-U''RE, and as I recall, I did the Y-O-U-R, the possessive your, and I'm very embarrassed by that. It's usually, I'm usually nitpicky about the yours, and the theirs, and all that stuff. Okay, so for that discussion board, now heading back to that, I just looked at the paper. The discussion board itself is going to be talking to your peers about, boy, I have such a long list from this thing. Well, I'll just look here. Discussion board post says you just 3 initial criteria. Describe the social issue that you chose for your project. Explain why social change is needed based on the needs of a community affected by the social issue. That community could be a physical, bordered community, or it could be a community of certain demographic of people in a certain community. Okay, remember demographics is important too, because what you will do with old folks in a certain problem to solve it will be different than what you will do for younger people, single parents, veterans, all these demographics. You can take it down to that specific. That's the way you laser beam right into an issue and can see more clearly in terms of what could possibly resolve it or mitigate it, right? All right, so you're going to do those 3, and then for your response post, you address the following. Again, 3 things. Share perspectives your classmate may not have considered. Comment on areas where your classmate could provide greater detail. So don't be afraid to be positive critique about, can you give us a little more clarity here? Or can you consider it? And then give specific feedback that would help your classmate revise the work. For example, are there other reasons why social change is needed for the perspective of the community? Are there other communities your classmate could explore that are also affected by the issue? Be careful on that one. I want you to I don't want you to go to different communities. You're just asking for more work. Are there other social changes that would benefit? Yeah, you can do those things too. Again, don't cheat yourself. Please do the work, okay? Because this module is worth 125 points, 75 for the discussion and 50 for the paper. I would prefer the paper to be 75. And so whatever I said before about the paper, it's 50 points, but please do well. I'm not punitive, but I am looking for academic rigor, okay? You've heard of that, right? Okay, so other than that, the content itself of Module 3, you're going to get more context on social problems and the dynamics involved in social problems, okay? So, for example, there's internal factors of why social change happens. There's power, ideology, and group dynamics, and the module gets into those things. Important to know in this world, especially that we're in, to understand why social change happens, okay? Those are internal factors. External factors could be like COVID, politics, natural disasters. I don't know, we got any politics going on right now? Intersocial factors, like for example, social media, okay? Obviously when I grew up, we didn't have social media. We had a lot of causes, a lot of movements, a lot of social change type of things that we wanted to promote and get done, and it's a lot harder without social media. However, with social media now, and you include that with AI and all these other things and deep fakes and fake news and everything, it can be a real quicksand, mud mess, right? So it's harder that way. I mean, my friend back home in Milwaukee still gets his newspaper on Sundays. I'm over staying with him. What are you doing? I was reading the paper. I'm like, do you understand how old that news is? And I get it, because I used to get the New York Times Sunday paper, and I used to sit and grill chicken and read it and have a good cigar, a little scotch, and you can look at features then and look at different aspects. But for instantaneous news, you and I both know, everybody knows. I mean, you got everything from TikTok, Facebook, Blue Sky, X, you got Instagram, you got, Twitch, you got, there's so many, there's at least 8, I think, that I've thought of. YouTube, of course. So there's also, good answers to questions. What if my issue feels too big? What do you do if it feels too big? This talks about that, the challenge. The issue itself is complex and overwhelming. Look at that. Challenge. The range of actions is overwhelming. What do I do? As interdisciplinarians, that's your IDS, and you may not know it, but you're an interdisciplinarian. That means, like I said, we're taking disciplines, academic disciplines. And we're not like sitting here in an engineering class where we're just learning about engineering, the complexities of engineering, the dynamics of engineering, all the engineering. Okay, we are looking at engineering, chemistry, geology, dance, I mean, you can look at everything, because interdisciplinarians don't acknowledge the strict borders between academic disciplines. And what that allows us to do, of course, is to not only get overwhelmed by the broad nature of everything, but it allows us to pick things out, not that we like because we're biased, pick things out that are appropriate to the problem. I've always said there was a highway that went around the back of Phoenix here, a bypass that finally got in, and it goes all the way to the west side. So trucks that are coming from LA going through to Texas or whatever, they didn't have to go through the town or city anymore. And it took forever to get this thing lined up and done. But who got involved and had to look at that? It wasn't just line it up and let's throw some cement on the ground. It was bordering the south end of Phoenix, Ahwatukee, along with a Native American land, okay? So the Gila River Nation community. So now we had to look at political science, okay? They had to look at civil political science in terms of eminent domain. They had to tear down a lot of houses, okay? We have to look at climate, because we're in a desert, it's hot. What's gonna happen? How are we lining that up? We look at sustainability. We look at environmentalism. Are we crossing a mating path for frogs or lizards? I don't know, but I'm just saying that everything, you have different experts maybe that put it together. An interdisciplinarian can look at all that, or you have an interdisciplinary that can look at all that. This is interdisciplinary work, okay? So look at the content of this, and there's a lot in there. There are good readings, there's videos, and good stuff. So I think this is a good foundational module that could really help you see where we're going. Again, contact me if you need any assistance. I'm running on 15 minutes here. I appreciate your time, your effort. Keep up the great work. Peace.